not the way things should be done. What was said was untrue. And it's disappointing to see people try to build themselves up by tearing others down. With that in mind, this is my response to recent allegations against me from the Twitter account BronyFandom and the YouTuber I Live Impossible a Lot. Before I begin, I want to give a content warning for the following things on screen.
Let's go.
Folks, this is a very serious video.
Let's go. I get it. Let's go. Bullying, harassment, and SA.
So please continue watching it at your own discretion. To be clear, the accusation that I sexually assaulted someone is completely false. And I feel disgusted that I even have to say that. I've had sexual partners before in the past, but we have always abided by enthusiastic and reciprocated consent. The actual reciprocated consent.
Well, how I see it, I just think there's not enough evidence. As long as Saber shows evidence that this never happened, then I can't really take his word on it.
The actual reality of the situation appears to be the result of what I believe to be a hit piece. From what I've seen, it seems that KP and a person by the username of BronyFandom were working together to push this story, and I have evidence to prove that. But more than
Okay, show them.
that, what KP's video actually does is extremely dangerous. It hurts those who are truly victims out there. And this is not how you do things when it comes to people's lives. The following section will be about I Live Impossible a Lot, my history with her, and what appears to be her attempt to falsely accuse me for her own gain. To make it easy, I will be referring to her as KP for the remainder of this video. I met KP in 2014. We lived in the same state and eventually became friends. This was mainly because we shared common interests, as we were both part of the BronyFandom and were both YouTubers as well. She came to me asking for advice on her videos and connections to go to conventions. At the end of 2014, I started a new job and entered a new relationship with someone. For the next 5 months, I was extremely busy. KP would occasionally reach out to me, but I did not have time to hang with her. It was nothing personal, and we naturally drifted apart. 8 years passed, and in August of 2023, a friend of mine messaged me on KP's behalf. He told me that according to KP, one of the editors on my team allegedly did something inappropriate to her back in 2015. I immediately addressed this with my editor, and he told me that the matter was settled between him and KP. I took his word on that and assumed that KP would reach out to me directly if that was not the case. On November 12th, 2024, KP made a tweet.
Imagine taking SA so seriously that the first thing to do is try to make the victim sign an NDA. Absolutely fuck DA games and sabersparks. Apparently, for keeping Chris hired. A poor look. Video coming soon. So, yeah, this is kind of weird that I guess if you look at it at the surface level, it is fucked up. But at the same time, it's really weird that she would make a video and not talk to these two privately.
Where she was upset that Chris was still working on my projects. She then posted, video coming soon. On January 6, 2025, KP emailed me demanding I take action due to Chris and what she claimed he did nearly 10 years ago. Due to a leaked call between Chris and KP, they recalled the full story. Chris made a sex joke in regards to KP, and she found out about it many years later. What shocked me was when I was informed, this call was recorded without Chris's knowledge or consent. Chris profusely begged for forgiveness at the end of the call, and it looked like both KP and Chris ended on amicable terms, which matches what I was told by Chris when I initially confronted him about the situation.
Yeah, Chris, you want to say anything?
I guess I'd go first, yeah.
Go for it.
All right. Well, first, I think it's the obvious thing is one, just want to profusely apologize for that terrible fucking thing I did.
Mm-hmm.
And that, God, was an absolute horrible person so many years ago, and you didn't deserve that. So,
All right. So I don't really have anything else that I feel comfortable saying at this point, but
Mhm.
I'll just leave with good luck and may God have mercy on your soul. And this too shall pass. Okay? All those things to you. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Well, have a good night. I
This seems pretty calm, and also led to a fucking too long of a video that was shit.
think I'm gonna limit my communication with you for obvious reasons, but
No,
I'll leave.
that's perfectly reasonable, and I understand.
In addition, after listening to this call, it appears KP was asking Chris intrusive questions in order to find more information about me.
So as far as your relationship with Saber, like, is it like, just so I know, is it
Mhm.
something, are you guys like friendly, or is he just give you kind of contract work and that's it?
I mean, I guess you could say it's both, but I don't have like long conversations with him because he's so busy. The
Okay.
most I ever see him is at conventions if he happens to be at the same one.
Okay, so you're not in an environment where
Creepy.
this would have come up anyway.
Like, my question is, why is she even asking about saberspark stuff? Unless she had, like, obviously, unless there's, like, some malicious intentions or whatever.
Never.
So he would probably be unaware.
Never. He's 100% unaware. Like, again, I can't stress enough is that in the times I ever told the story, it was, as you described it, locker room talk with a very small amount of people in a private call. I never told it publicly, and I never, ever told it to anyone like saberspark.
As far as Chris goes, we took the situation seriously from the very beginning. The joke was inappropriate, but it was told nearly 10 years ago. He profusely apologized to me as well and admitted to his faults. I believe in the inner growth of a person and that they can change for the better. He did good work for the team. I was surprised, though, that KP thought she had the ability to dictate who I hire and fire for my own.
That's suspicious. Very suspicious to a high degree. Especially since, like, they're friends.
Team. On February 5th, 2025, KP emailed me again, but this time with false allegations. She claimed that I had, quote, jerked around my employees and generally treated them with very little consideration. She also claimed that I was, quote, hosting polygamous relationships with fangirls.
The fuck?
Which is as ridiculous as it sounds. On February 25th, 2025, KP sent her final email to me. In it, she said, quote, to add on to this, I will fight you for the truth. Tone, your whole last email and the Twitter thread is drenched in, undermines the actual issues of the conversation, on top of assuming I'm going to publish falsifiable information, end quote. However, incorrect information and hearsay was included within the release video. She also stated that the reason she messaged my members of my team instead of contacting me directly was that I, quote, triggered the shit out of her. And at the
So she got mad.
end of the email, she told me to never contact her again. And following that request, I never contacted her again. At this point, I was bracing myself for a hit piece video from KP, but I never imagined she would use false sexual assault allegations against me. I also noticed this particular Twitter exchange the day following KP's final email to me. Leading up to the release of KP's video, she was telegraphing her intentions and who they were against. She advertised a video schedule, a watch party.
Oh god, a watch party. Yeah, I never realized you want a watch party with about an SA victim and their perpetrator.
A YouTube premiere, and a slew of other posts in order to build up hype. A YouTube premiere, and a slew of other posts.
So we just call me Moses because I'm about to bring this. That's kind of disgusting. It's disgusting art.
In order to build up hype for her expose. Bernie fandom was involved too, foreshadowing the release of the video on their Twitter leading up to the release. According to KP, the anonymous story would be posted on Twitter by Bernie Fandom at 10 a.m., with her video premiere about my false allegations 2 hours later. What was to follow would be a video that was not just tone deaf, but dangerously reckless with the lives of others. KP has gone on record saying that the video was originally intended for DA Games, but included me in the allegations a month prior to the release of the upload. The video itself was titled, "What Ruined Saberspark in DA Games?" and was over 2 hours long. It was primarily advertised as breaking the news of my false allegations, but the section in question was only 5 minutes and 40 seconds long. According to this interview with KP, hosted by Slug Entertainment 2, uploaded on May 5th, 2025, KP admits that the story she featured was purely hearsay and had no substantiated evidence.
So, just to be as objective as possible here, so what you're saying is that basically the evidence that you were given was more personal circumstance and hearsay rather
Correct.
than objective evidence.
Correct. They didn't have any Skype logs or anything because of how long it was ago, and we did ask. So,
were there other people that went in to verify these claims, or were there other attempts to verify the claims being made?
Not to my knowledge. I believe I don't know the history of Bonk's relationship with the victim itself.
Bonks is Brony Fandom.
Relationship with the victim itself. I don't know to what extent he knew about everything before the statement was prepared. But I do know that Amy was vouching for them, and that
so they get the rundown. They don't know much about it, and a lot of it was just hearsay, so it doesn't really matter.
was also because I knew Amy was on or has been on the convention scenes. That's how she met. Peter knew her husband.
The video would be unlisted and eventually removed from KP's channel the same day of its premiere, following a massive public backlash against it. Apparently, based on the comments in the video, a number of the assets included and voiceover actors involved were allegedly not informed of the nature of the video being made, or had their work used without permission for video B-roll and memes. On Twitter, I was ridiculed, with many people calling me a predator. This was due to the initial sensationalized traction of Bernie Fandom's post. But
this is just people that just genuinely hate you, but now have an actual reason to hate you.
then the post itself began to receive pushback due to public scrutiny over the alleged claims. Following KP's video, Bernie Fandom began to backpedal, claiming that they never watched the video prior to promoting KP's upload. Bernie Fandom would eventually throw KP under the bus in order
KP got fucked harder.
to distance themselves from her video's backlash a few days later. So, what does this mean? As far as Bernie Fandom goes, one of two things seem to be true. Either one, they watched the video, approved it, advertised it, and now they're backpedaling because it did not go the way they wanted it to. Or two, they never watched the video in the first place, yet they still endorsed it. Either option is reckless, irresponsible,
and retarded. If you watched the video and just didn't like the outcome, it's your fault. But it's still your fault if you didn't watch the video and just blindly supported it. But at least with the blindly supporting it, there was some plausible deniability. And not just that, you also have some other factors. It's really all fun and games until a defamation suit happens.
and speaks to a greater problem. By KP's own admissions, she does not like me, and I believe she holds a grudge against me after we had a falling out. Slug Entertainment's interview with her seems to demonstrate her malicious intent, and from the context of her video, it looks like it was done with a desire to use this drama to boost her channel's popularity. It was a hit piece, plain and simple, though she denies having a vendetta against me.
If you were to say that this is something that needs to be taken with the utmost seriousness, despite no evidence, would you believe that it would be fair for people to disregard it entirely due to the lack of actual evidence?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. I wanted to at least ask that, given the fact that these are serious allegations that can get Saber killed.
Wait, how?
Because people are crazy, and I'd rather not have someone get killed over an allegation that has not been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, that's fair.
Brony fan don't harassment.
At this point in the video, I want to talk about the Twitter account Bernie Fandoms. This Twitter account has been purposely targeting me for a while now. By their own words, they believe that internet justice is more effective than courtroom justice. They seem to see themselves as judge, jury, and executioner than courtroom justice. In their own words, they believe that internet justice is more effective than courtroom justice.
No. Courtroom justice puts you in a cell. Internet justice does nothing. What type of bullshit? See, the Brony community is either egotistically retarded, or they're all... I'd rather have this like fandom be just full of pedophiles, because at least all of them would be at least majority of them would be arrested. This person is such a retard. I just don't think they're smart enough to be alive.
Yes.
They're dangerously stupid.
They seem to see themselves as judge, jury, and executioner, and launch vicious harassment campaigns against multiple online creators, such as Billy Bustup, Prince Whateverer, and Black Griffin.
Black Griffin.
Bernie Fandom has on multiple occasions used falsifiable information to attack people with. According to KP's post, Bernie Fandom was in her Discord server, and according to this person, they were...
She banned me from the server a bit ago because I was into the thick of it with Bonks and their besties.
Were allegedly friends. On May 1st, 2025, Bernie Fandom shared KP's false allegations against me. After public backlash for their post, Bernie Fandom was constantly arguing with people in the replies. Some people asked if he suggested...
You should have... Oh, it's this... I have to say, it's this fucker. You should have contacted Rain. Dumbass, I don't even know who that is. Why would I have reached out to someone I don't even know existed? This is completely pointless. Your response is so angrily shouting, even if I don't know who they were. You should have pointed it. You should have is also pointless right now. You should have is all pointless right now, and I cannot change the past.
Suggested professional organizations to the victim prior to reaching out to KP, and he said no. Many were inquiring about...
Range is not a person, and if you do not know what Rain is, then I'm sorry, but maybe you should have... You aren't... Oh! Let me read. Rain is not a person, and if you don't know what Rain is, then I'm sorry, but maybe you aren't equipped to handle this thing. It does not matter.
Rain, and he had no idea what that was. At the time of recording this video, the post is still up on Twitter and has not been corrected, despite being false and unsubstantiated. Finally, I want to bring up Sophie Scruggs. She is a comic artist for IDW and is on record sharing the Brony Fandom account. She was friends with KP
The fuck is that?
prior to the premiere of the video, and even collaborated on other drama videos with her. She even makes an appearance in said video and talks to both KP and Courtney Pete. I believe that Sophie's involvement with the Bernie Fandom account is concerning and irresponsible. She seems to be more of a facilitator of moving parts and frequently replies to the account with her own main accounts. At the very least, we can confirm that she shares the account and has essentially co-signed what it posts.
Online vigilantism, let's go.
At this point, I want to talk about the state of Twitter, but mainly
Twitter's fucking hell. I want to know how Blue Skies is, because let's see if it's worse on Twitter.
the internet as a whole. I have been on Twitter since 2012, but in early 2020, I noticed that the culture of the website had begun to change. It was more combative and antagonistic, and the website started to reward that kind of engagement. There has been an ongoing weaponization of online vigilantism.
Yeah, and the problem with online vigilantism is that no one really gets in trouble, or they literally destroy it. Mama Max destroyed it. Dads versus Predators don't get the Predators they beat the shit out of arrested, compared to people like Gideon or Oma or Alex Rosen. And there's some other stuff that also like muddies the water. False allegations, people that have CP as evidence, but are also trying to censor it when it gets them in trouble. A lot of stuff.
People who adopt a shoot first and ask questions later mentality in the quest to make a name for themselves without doing their due diligence. They would prefer to try to shape the world for what they believe the problem is, rather than actually assisting in the solution. This whole situation is a perfect example of how unqualified strangers can shoehorn their way into extremely delicate situations. Bad faith actors are rewarded for their digital tabloids and hit pieces. Without the right checks and balances, people can destroy lives with a single misinformed tweet. These aren't individuals who care about the well-being of victims, but only engagement and exploitative content. It is important to allow legitimate victims to come forward and be heard, but the way the situation was handled was incredibly irresponsible and dangerous.
And she fucked herself over.
This entire ordeal has been the worst moment of my entire life, and it has done severe damage to me and my family. In regards to my channel, we have lost nearly tens of thousands of subscribers
Shit.
since the release of their video. And that is with the majority of people watching her video, calling it out for its inaccuracies and its failures. There are independent projects which I supported in good faith and made genuine connections with people that have now been ruined because of these false allegations. And I believe that was the overall goal of this calculated attack against my character. Listen, I know that the internet likes to make fun of me, call me cringe, make fun of my videos, and I am totally okay with that. You can make fun of me, but I draw the line at this. I love making videos, and I've been doing it professionally since 2015. I have a family and coworkers who depend on me, and I want to take care of them. I'm not the only one who has been affected by these malicious allegations.
So yeah, you're hurting everyone's money supply. Ooh.
And while I am disillusioned by these traumatic events, I am also actively exploring legal remedies in light of these
Oh, it was literally, it's all fun and games until a lawsuit happens.
false allegations to hold these people accountable for their lies and actions. But there is far more beyond just me here.
In the words of Cinder and Redacted, it was all just business. And the words of Paimon, hope this helps.
Despite the damage against my life,